I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is Assetto Corsa Rally. Yes, I'm probably as surprised as you are, but there is a new Assetto Corsa title. Like the photo frame in the Assetto Corsa EVO showroom suggested there might be, and it is Assetto Corsa Rally. We're going off-road. I am currently pounding through a stage in Wales in a Lancia Delta Integrale. And although this game uses Kunos physics, it's actually been developed by a brand new studio founded in 2021 called Supernova. So this game's been worked on now for 4 years. I've hit a tree. What I was going to say is, it's challenging.
So just to be abundantly clear from the off, yes, this is a new Assetto Corsa game, but it isn't being created by the same team of people that are working on AC EVO. It is an entirely different game studio.
Irvin, Marco, we're at the Sim Racing Expo 2025, and you've just announced a new Assetto Corsa game, which is quite bold, because there are other Assetto Corsa games still in development, but it turns out this is by a different development team, right? Yeah. So it's not, you're Kunos, you're going to represent Kunos. Marco, you're not developing this game, you're offering support, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
We started to work together in this beautiful technical partnership more than 4 years ago. And we made apart them in an exclusive partnership with our physics engine, our knowledge, know-how and data, to put them in the best possible conditions to work even deeply on the physics engine with a specific need for a rally simulation. And the rest is story.
So yes, a Kunos physics system, but actually Unreal Engine 5 for the visuals and the graphics. It is a custom build of Unreal Engine 5 though, and I have to say, I know this is a very small slice of the game, it's just a stage and a car, so I'm not going to get too excited. There's going to be all the usual caveats from first impressions videos. However, it looks sensational. It's possibly the best looking rally experience I've seen on Unreal Engine 5. I think it looks better than EA Sports WRC ever did on this one particular example. This is clearly a team who know how to get the best out of Unreal Engine 5.
Run me through the highlights from the technical side.
Of course, yeah. We had the massive opportunity to work on the Kunos physics engine. And I mean, so what was there was already, it was great because it had years of development by a very talented team, and it was a very, very great basis to start from. Of course, what happens is that when you take care of creating a rally simulator, is way different to rather staying on track, okay? So what we had to do was adapting and keep developing the physics system by Kunos to implement all of those parts that really allow a car to adapt to rally stages, because you've got bumps, jumps, and of course you've got loose surfaces such as gravel, snow and ice.
One very important thing I need to get out of the way straight away. This game is coming soon. In early access on Steam, this game will be available from the 13th of November this year. That is less than a month away. Now we have been told the hope is version 1.0 will come in 2026, but there's no guarantees of that. And then hopefully after that, maybe we'll see a console version of the game. But at launch, it's going to be just PC. The game's going to launch with 10 cars at first, a range of cars through the years, different categories, starting in the 1960s all the way up to modern day. And eventually the game is going to include Group 2 cars, Group 4 cars, Group A, Group B, WRC, Rally 2, all the usual classes you would expect from a big rally game. Now, I have also driven this already on a different rig with a proper handbrake. This time we're just using a button. But what I would say straight away, the first thing that came to mind was this is a true rally sim. This is not a rally game. Now we know nothing about features and game modes and all that stuff, just about how it feels to actually drive, but it is a proper challenge. You can really feel the weight shifting around in the car. Force feedback was turned down quite low at first, but we've got it turned up now on this rig, and you can feel all the texture on the road, the usual stuff, but it's very responsive.
You really do have to get the car properly slowed down for the corners and dial things back a bit. You get very used to playing more accessible rally games over the years, because most rally games are more accessible than this in terms of initial feel. You really have to just dial it down a little bit, be more cautious, be a bit slower into the corners, and really focus on transferring the weight of the car. This game is certainly not for the faint-hearted, and I can tell that immediately.
Okay, I've switched to the Citroen Zara WRC from 2003, the old Science and McRae Citroen. This is my first experience with this car. Beforehand, I've only driven the Lancia Delta Integrale on the Welsh stages. And I was really, really impressed because so many rally games I've played, you jump in an old Group A car or something like that, and you kind of drive it a little bit like a more modern WRC car because, you know, it was a WRC car. It's got reasonable amounts of grip and it's set up quite well. But really, Group A's were a lot more visceral to drive, a lot more cumbersome, more work for the driver. You really have to manually shift the weight around a lot more, whereas something like this Zara, you can be a lot more precise and neat with it and be fast. It's why drivers like McRae were more competitive in Group A than these more modern WRC regulations. But the only rally game I've ever played in the past which has sort of challenged me to this level to stay on the road has to be Richard Burns Rally, and especially modded versions of Richard Burns Rally. That's kind of, in terms of the driving difficulty and how much you have to focus just to make it to the end of the stage as I fly off the road yet again. That's the only thing I can kind of compare it to. Now, this is, I need to say again, very first look, very small slice, and I'm not going to sit here and look at this and just say, oh yeah, this is the next Richard Burns Rally, because it's so early for that. I'm just bouncing along the road. But what I can say is first signs are very strong, and I'm saying it so cautiously, but yeah, I mean, visually it's spectacular. Physics-wise, I mean, we know that Kunos know how to develop physics for cars, but instantly it's the camber, it's the bumps in the road, it's the changes. Everything just feels connected, and you can really, really tell that this has been done properly in terms of suspension and the way the tyres are working with the road and all these things. It feels like you've got to look for every single rock on the inside, every big dip, and just make sure that you're going to be okay. When it says don't cut in this game, don't cut. Now at launch we will only have 2 locations, Rally Wales and Rally d'Alsace, but each location has 2 stages, and as you can see, Wales has 8 variants, France has 10 variants.
This is a point I do want to hammer home though, because yes, these stages look incredible, and we'll talk more about why that is later in this video, but it is only 2 locations, it is only 4 stages with multiple variants, and that can get quite stale quite quickly if you're not careful. So I really do hope that we're able to see more locations, more stages added quite quickly throughout this early access period.
Our Sim Racing Expo content is brought to you by our sponsor D-Box, the exclusive provider of haptic systems to the FIA. D-Box's sim racing motion platforms are professional grade and used by elite drivers all over the world to maximise immersion. High fidelity data from the sim allows you to feel every bump, slide and texture change across the surface. Additionally, D-Box's precision will remain the same no matter the weight. To find out more, click on the link in the description. So I've switched to the Rally 2 Hyundai. I'm just showing you the chase cam so you can have a little look at the visuals there. The damage has been very impressive as well. Hopefully we can show you some footage of how the damage build-up on the outside happens, but there's a lot of it, it's very detailed.
You can see body panels flying off, rear doors opening under impacts, cracked windscreens at big bumps, and plenty of other stuff. The physics have all been done independently when it comes to crashes, so for every different incident you have, there will be unique damage to the car relating to the incident itself, and also to where certain parts of your car are located, i.e. whether your car's front or rear engine, for example, might affect how certain bits are damaged with certain impacts. It's all very detailed and exciting sounding, but we haven't been able to test all of that too much yet.
Now of course tarmac is what Assetto Corsa has always been good at, so it wouldn't surprise me if the tarmac physics are pretty solid. I'm already feeling the firmness of the ground underneath me, and yeah, every single little bump and crest, it's kind of trying to wrestle with me with the steering. That is a corner that I'm going to need to, well okay, we'll skip it altogether. Why not? Only a 13.9 second corner cut penalty. Something very important that I haven't mentioned yet is that not only every car, but also every stage is actually laser scanned. So every single rally stage you're going to drive in this game is a real road, and that is something that I think is a game changer for rally games. I didn't expect it. Like even when we heard the presentation about AC Rally, for someone to say, oh yeah, the cars are laser scanned, oh also the stages are, I mean, that was a surprise. But a very, very pleasant one.
You said laser scanned stages. How do you go about that, and how many stages should people expect?
Okay, so laser scanned stages were key if you want to get an authentic feeling. You cannot get everything right and not the very same road where you're driving along. So we go there, we laser scan it, and then we produce the stage. The game will launch with 4 stages in 18 variants from 2 different rallies, both on tarmac and gravel. And then we are already working on more, of course, that will be released during the early access.
This is like a bus that went on stage in Gallus.
Yeah, I went there and drive the
job on its own.
I've driven.
That's a really difficult job.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
It's first go, of course, in the Rally 2 and on the tarmac, but immediately I feel like I can, okay, I need to listen to the pace notes clearly, but I feel like I can attack it relatively hard. I can kind of trust the car underneath me, but it's just so unforgiving in the best possible way. If you try and, you know, take the speed for granted and don't pay attention to your co-driver for a split second, you've had it. Obviously, you know we're big rally fans on the Traxion channel, but well, I'm so excited for this.
At the same time, I am acutely aware that not all of you are rally fans, and especially those of you who aren't rally fans but have bought into AC EVO and the early access program over there, I would understand it if you were a little bit confused and maybe a little bit frustrated and hurt at the slow progress of certain features over there versus the roadmap, when there's this whole other game in this whole other discipline of motorsport that's been happening in the background, regardless of the situation with different studios.
This is by Supernova Games Studios. I've just found out and I had to read your shirt, which is very handy to remember the name. When was this studio formed, and was it formed to create Assetto Corsa Rally?
Yes, the studio was formed in 2021.
Okay.
So at the time it was just 3 people, and then we grew as a studio. And the main goal, the main purpose was to work on the Assetto Corsa series with a rally game. Exactly.
Okay, so formed for this game. So the game's been in development since 2021.
More or less. The team was developed since 2021.
Okay.
Because we had to do 3 things. We had to create a team, build the technology, and then build the game. And of course, everything intertwines. But of course, the total amount of working hours spent of the game is less than a complete full set of 5 years.
Now, one last thing I've been told to try is dynamic weather. So this game will also, by the way, have dynamic time of day, so you can race in the night, in the dark, all of those things. You can choose the start time for the stage, a little bit like your kind of regular racing sims, but also you can choose the weather. So you can have stormy conditions, heavy rain like we've got now, and obviously overcast clouds, clear, all of those things. Not sure yet about snow. We did hear in the presentation as well that, you know, snowy surfaces and gravel and all these different things were mentioned, so we expect there to be snow-based locations in future. I would definitely hope so anyway, based on what we're talking about the surfaces, but obviously right now it's just tarmac and gravel. It's so easy to lock up, and well, there's a respawn penalty. Driving a front-wheel drive car for the first time as well. You can hear the lock-up on the tarmac as well, which is really cool. See, when you launch off the line, you can hear the front wheel spin, you can hear the judder, and you just don't get away anywhere, which is as it should be. You can also hear under braking when you lock up a little bit, which you guys can't really hear, unfortunately, but I can tell you sound design is impressing me a lot from minute 1. Rain looks good. Performance on this vertical slice that we're trying so far with just a few locations. I mean, I've not noticed a single issue performance-wise, honestly. We've had no glitches, no crashes. I've not seen any frame drops at all. I just didn't expect this today. I didn't expect it.
Another thing I picked up on and I feel deserves to be highlighted was the off-stage ambience. Spectators running out of the way as you hurtle towards them. Obviously, some groups of spectators don't move and you get respawned onto the stage. I'm not sure how much footage we have of these incidents, but a lot of it happened during my first playthrough session, which sadly we didn't capture as much of, but hopefully we'll be able to show you something. There's also moments where spectators film the car as it flies past them on the stage with their phones out, which is obviously a modern thing, but a nice touch as well. All of it adds to the general atmosphere and ambience.
Now the game will launch with asynchronous multiplayer, which is essentially just leaderboard, so you can compete against other people, you can compare times and all of that stuff. But there will also have synchronous multiplayer in future. Now synchronous multiplayer will basically be that you can essentially be on the same stage as someone else at the same time, almost like in a server together. And you'll see their split times coming through. You won't see a ghost or anything or their car, but you will see their split times and you will see the stage times at the end. So you're kind of competing against other people in real time on the same stages, but in your own rally setting where you can't see them. I think that's pretty cool. Don't know when that's going to come, but we know it's coming at some point. That's probably all we have time for in this first look. I mean, I could sit here and play this all evening and learn more about it all, but I mean, there's just a lot to get excited for. I will, one final time in this video, just say that, you know, playing these games in early access, you get your hands on it for the first time, it's all very exciting, but we need to test it in lots of different scenarios, different hardware, different stages that haven't just been, you know, worked on for this particular event. So far, so good though, and I genuinely mean that with, I couldn't be more genuine with that comment. I am excited, I am really liking what I'm feeling, and it is just a refreshing moment for rally fans because we haven't had something to get excited about. Obviously the whole thing with Codemasters left us all in a bad place. It was great to hear that Nacon were going to be publishing an official WRC game, but that's not till 2027, so we've kind of been left in a little bit of a lull as rally fans. So this coming out of the blue, next month in early access, it's something to get excited for.
Of course, all of this is just one man's opinion and one man's first impressions. I'm really excited to hear what all of you think about this when you get to try it in just under a month's time. And remember, you can check out the Traxion.gg website on a daily basis for all of the latest Assetto Corsa Rally and Assetto Corsa EVO news.
As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the Traxion channel for more Sim Racing Expo content coming your way very, very soon. And leave us a like if you've enjoyed. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.